What's up everybody and welcome to another edition of AGR's Pop Culture Reviews. So in the comic book world, it looks like both Batman and Catwoman are finally going to take the plunge and let a little bit of love in. That is, if the Joker lets them. Because all of you out there know that relationships are difficult, and even superheroes are not immune to the trials and tribulations. And I know, the interwebs are already on fire over this decision, but personally I think it's long overdue. These poor souls have been involved in this endless waltz of sexually charged flirtation for decades. But just like with a lot of great things, we gotta take it back old school when we really first saw how sultry and sexually charged it was. And that was definitely Julie Newmar's Catwoman. The original TV series was undeniably campy, and most kids tuned in for Batman, but for the adults watching, they knew what they tuned in for. Looking back on the show, you can tell how many sexually charged double entendres there were, and you have to wonder how the hell they got past the censors. I mean seriously, go back and watch the show, and it seems like every other episode there's some contrived plot device that forces the characters to be involved in some kind of elaborate bondage scenario. Now I'm not complaining about it because it was a great show, but I'm just keeping it real. In any event, I have something really cool in studio, and to be honest with you, this was long overdue. Today we're going to be reviewing Tweeterhead's Catwoman Limited Ruby Edition Maquette. Let's take a closer look. I was introduced to Tweeterhead approximately a year and a half ago when I did my review of Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, and that was an extraordinary maquette. Fortunately, they haven't let me down yet, and this is a shining example of why. This is absolutely stunning, guys. This is a perfect representation of Julie Newmar. I have to admit, when I took this out of the box and when I saw the heft and the weight to it, I was definitely impressed. This is absolutely beautiful. I love the mask, the ears look great, countenance in the face is amazing, the hairstyle in the sculpt is great, guys. This is beautiful. I always get asked the same question over and over again, and there seems to be a great debate in the collecting universe whether or not they prefer maquettes over premium formats, and that's a really hard decision to make. Mostly because they're both extremely detailed, and that detail is definitely on display on the midsection of this piece. What makes it so incredible is the attention to detail, the textures that they use, the overall sculpt and creases, as well as the illusion, layer upon layer of sculpt, and you can really see that in the amulet that she's wearing that's kind of hanging off her chest area. This is just awesome, guys. Now sadly, just like many of you guys, I missed out on the original run of this piece. And in many ways, I'm kind of glad that I did. One of the reasons that makes this very limited edition is that beautiful, gorgeous ruby, and it really does something to this piece. Now the other one was great, but you can barely see the diamond in her hand. This ruby really pops out and becomes a focal point of this piece, and it is gorgeous. But that's not the only change, and for some reason it seems like her claws are a little bit more highlighted this time around. Now, it really doesn't matter which version you have, the thing that really turns this piece over for me is definitely in the stance. The fact that she's leaning up against the cat and has one leg up is extraordinary. Not only is it very sexy, but it's very powerful looking. I love it. It looks great. Similar to the original version, one of the things that really impressed me about that one was definitely in the sculpt of her boots. I love that they're kind of contorting themselves to the way that she's actually standing, and it really gives this piece a sense of gravity and realism. Now there is one major change on this piece that, in my opinion, changes the entire dynamic. If you'll recall from the original version, it was painted in this kind of gold bronze finish. In this case, they actually did a matte black, almost onyx, which looks fantastic. In my opinion, it really highlights some of the more subtle details in this cat. Mostly the ears, definitely in the eyes, but most importantly in the overall musculature, especially when you look at the necklace that he's wearing, it definitely pops out a little more. It's unusual because you get the best of both worlds. You get this nice transition between Catwoman into the cat, and then you get this brilliant contrast between the base and the cat. Now without question, this is definitely a piece that you have to mirror, but you have to go a little bit further to get the full effect. You also have to put it under the right lighting, mostly because you really want to highlight the brilliance of that ruby. Just take a look at the hair sculpt here, and this is probably one of the most impressive things. I love the individual strands. Most importantly though, the hair color is perfect, and that's one of the things that I was worried about. Of course, we have to pay a little fan service, but it looks absolutely stunning. Again, not too muscular, just perfect. Overall, guys, you definitely gotta do this justice and do it right. Now, for me, guys, this is definitely it. This is where this piece became a legend. I absolutely love the base. First of all, it's kind of two of them. The one that the cat is actually sitting on, which is this brilliant bronze gold, and that stunning marble Roman slab. It is absolutely beautiful, guys. This thing just looks like actual stone. This is very high end, and I have to say, even if you're not into comic books or don't know anything about the DC universe, this statue is so high end that you can put it as a centerpiece. It's gorgeous, guys. Now, I don't even think you have to ask. This one is an easy one. This is definitely a holy grail piece, and maybe more so because of the fact that it's a limited edition because of that brilliant, beautiful ruby. So if you can get your hands on this thing, guys, definitely do it. Now, before I go, I just want to thank the folks over at Sideshow Collectibles for sending this wonderful piece over for review. Alright everybody, so that's my official review on Tweeterhead's Catwoman Limited Ruby Edition Maquette. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next AGR's Pop Culture Reviews.